Yo, 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 what is up? Listen, I'm just chilling out. Tonight, I probably only stream for about an hour. It depends on if people show up and chat a lot. There's a lot of people here chatting. I'll stay around for a while. I have gotten the game back to working and broken it multiple times since the last time I tried to stream with it. So I'm going to be playing around with the level generator again some more. And I'll demonstrate it working at some point here in a minute. Yeah, just give me a minute here. I'm just getting set up. Swear to God, my cat, it looks like it was getting ready to jump up here. He's like trying to be sneaky about it, but I know he's about to try. He like has some kind of sixth sense about knowing when I'm streaming because he thinks he can get away with it. So I'm going to be less mean to him when the camera's on is what he's thinking. I bet what's going through his head, I'm sure of it. Sneaky little cats. Oh, I need to set up my YouTube chat. That is a thing I have to do still. Maybe somebody from will come by and hang out. I appreciate you if you do. You're catching this afterwards for some reason. It's good seeing you. Wish you were here live. See you when I see. What's up, Inkling? Yeah, appreciate you, bro. It's good to see you, friend. How's it going out there? Not gonna be probably playing any Zomboid tonight, dude, but it is good to see you, man. I was setting up my YouTube chat. That's right. Normally I do that before I go live. Going good, man. Good to hear. Good to hear. On a Nintendo DS, like an old school game, retro. What the heck is going for $74 at this day and age? I actually bought a DS one time, Nintendo DS. It's like the flip one, right, with two screens. I got one because I wanted the Harvest Moon game that was on that, and it's literally the only reason I bought the thing. It's the only game I played on it. I played it for about, I don't know, let's say like 3 to 4 months. I played it like for 30 minutes or so before bed. And then I never really played it again. Like a year or 2 years later, I bought like 3 more DSs and a whole crap load of games, like in 50 game lots and stuff on eBay. This was like 10 years ago or so. But I was buying like all the stuff, and then I gave that to my nieces and nephews as their Christmas gift that year. And all of the everything, every last little piece, every little game, every accessory, every system, everything is gone. They've lost it all. Lost, destroyed throughout everything. Yeah, I knew this cat was going to jump up here. Alright, so what I'm working on right now is I'm trying to convert the original code of this game to have an infinite level. Like, I want it to be like Minecraft, where it just infinitely generates the world as you travel, and like kind of your home base, you have to make it back there, and so on and so forth. And I'll have like teleportation later. But of course, I've programmed the game to have a finite level, and I've been working on it for a while, trying to convert it over. And I've got it pretty far. Dementium is one of the first ever first-person shooter horror DS game. Gotcha. Dementium 2. Right on, right on. Yeah. So anyway, I'm making the thing work with an infinite level, and interesting. I'll have to remember this for later. So what's going on right here is this is the prefab level, the starting home base, and I'm trying to stitch together a generated level and that for my final output. And what's going on is, because I've changed the code so much, the the level generator stopped actually fitting the rooms together, actually generating a level. It's just making the first room the prime room, and then not actually joining stuff together. So I have to like edit some XY coordinate stuff and do some debugging and like kind of get that to, get that to work again. And I think it will work if I put the old version on, so I can actually demonstrate the game still actually working. Hey, appreciate you, man. I'm not, like, dude, I just want to finish it. I don't care if it succeeds or not. I literally just want to finish it, because I just want to have finished something. I'm so sick of having half-done projects, I just want to get one done. And I put a lot of time into this, so, it's not like it's jank as hell right now, but it's actually fairly, under the hood, it's fairly robust. So once I get through a few, like, hurdles here, the rest is going to come together quickly. Like, it's going to come to a refinement phase really fast. And so I'm really looking forward to just like adding new features and so forth, like making new guns and special powers and bosses and stuff. I'm looking forward to that. But as far as like the simple enemies go, I have it all figured out. In fact, that's what I'll do. I'll just switch this over real quick to show it actually working. I fixed the pathfinding and all that crap from the last video. I don't even remember if I got the game to work to show that off last video. What I have to actually do is go to where it initializes the world and switch it to a different function. Yeah, this needs to be... This actually needs to be initialized first level here. Isn't that the name of it? No, this is only a thing with the new code. That's right. What's my callback function going to be? I don't think I even need one anymore. Just give it null. I think this will work. Guess we'll see. I haven't tried this actually. I just think that it will work. Oh yeah, thank you for that. You know, I came up with that a long time ago. I was just trying to like I was trying to come up with a name to kind of describe this type of game that I'm going for. Like what I'm really going for with this is a sci-fi themed roguelike game where when you die, your character is dead. You have to keep starting over, and you play like clones or something like that, and the entire game takes place like in the middle of space where there's no planets or anything. It's just a big debris field, and you have to like scrounge for oxygen and electricity to, you know, like survive. It's going to be a survival roguelike. That's what I'm going for. But I mean, right now it's just kind of it's loosely there. But anyway, that was a name I came up with like a long time ago. Kind of just a working title, not actually the real name. I'm doing my map generation like PZ. Yeah, that's what I kind of want to do. I mean, a lot of roguelike games have level generators that work sort of like Project Zomboid, where areas are predefined, and when they spawn in, like things inside of the area randomly will generate, right? So like they have a map, but then also they have an engine that randomly will go and place a few set pieces around, you know, like road, like the crash sites and the construction zone type of thing. I forget what they're called in PZ, but yeah, I mean, this is like a super well talked about thing in game development. There's a really big community of game developers that talk about all the pieces that are required to actually pull it off, so to say. All right, see if I can put my money where my mouth is. This is actually going to work. You have to ignore the jankiness of this game. It's just a personal project I've been working on for a very long time. Oh no, it kind of looks like it's not going to work. It didn't move my character. What is actually... Oh, something is very broken. What the hell? I've never... Oh my god. What is it doing? It's like infinitely... Oh. Oh. Wow. Alright, well, it's broken, obviously. It's hard to actually explain what's happening there. So it was generating the level and regenerating it every single frame. That's what was happening. I need to put an if statement above this to make sure the level manager is not generating. So I have to say if not level manager dot is generating, then call this, and then when this completes, it's supposed to set the game mode to normal afterward, and nothing is doing that actually, because I don't have a callback to do that, so I need to provide it a callback. The old callback used to be called show character prompt, so maybe I should I literally I literally commented out that code last night right here. So oh hey, here it is right here. So this is how a character used to be made. I would generate the level before the character is actually created, and then when you click create character, it just moves you to the right spot. But I've been like kind of trying to shuffle stuff around a little bit. Anyway, I need to figure out, to get this actually working, how to get us to the next step. So let's maybe just slip it in at the end of this. We need to make it the callback. We'll make this like jank ass callback here. Public, get rid of this callback. And I believe we'll have to do one that takes a game mode. This will be the easiest thing. And all it's going to do is set game mode to the next game mode. And then I'll pass this from... See if I can use the back button to get there. There we go. So it's going to go here with game mode normal. And I actually need to fix this to be a callback to and take a game mode as a parameter. Okay, this should do it. Uh-oh. What did I do? Oh. Oh. Okay. Oh. Oh my. You know. All right. Did that fix it? No, I still have this broken thing here. How did I break this? What did I do to break this? Cannot convert a call. Oh. Oh. Shooty. I don't really want to modify this one. I mean, so many more lines of code are calling this. They're not really used, but I don't want to comment too much out right now. How am I going to overcome this? Oh, the only ideas I have are bad ideas. The idea sounds like a cool game, I agree. But we actually have to get something working. I mean, let's be honest here. I've been working on this for literally years. Literally years. I took a several years break. That's how old this thing is. It's pretty damn old. It's always been my dream to make a game. That's what got me into coding in the first place, but I never did it. I was a corporate drone for most of my life. I'm back to being a corporate drone again. And I just kind of like to do this for myself, you know? Let's see. What I'm trying to figure out right now is how to avoid where are we coming from? What kind of function are we coming from? This is just a normal ass void here. Damn, I clicked around in there a lot. Oh, this is the update function. Oh, wait a second. That's right. I think I have one of these. Get faction level. Load world. Normal callback. Yeah, I think I have one of these right around here that actually does the thing. No, it's actually going to be Come on, man. I made too many changes. I made too many changes last night. Goodness gracious. Here we go. Initialize first level. This is the one. No, because I cut the code out of it to start a new function instead of copying it out. That's what I did there. All right, so it's still going to be this. We are going to have to go back to the old callback. I'm going to have to figure this out another way. So I'm going to do something ultra jank. I just want to get it working again for a second. I'm going to do something terrible. All right, so the update function in here. Okay, this will take us back to it. This update function here, what I'll do is, this is terrible. In the gameplay controller, I'm going to add a boolean. I'm going to set it to false. First level made. I'm sure there's already something like this around there that I could have reused, but I'm going to delete this later. And then let's go back. Inside of here, Okay, so the else if is going to be if level manager is generating. Oh, this is going to have an and first level made equals false. And then once it's done, it should set is generating back to false, and then this will let me escape from this game mode. And hopefully... No, I'm going to have to move the player. So I have to find that code too. Show character prompt, initialize character. That is actually in initialize world. That's in this one. That's in this one, actually. It's like Inception. You have to keep going deeper. By the way, I'm making a game in Roblox with Fi. I'm not familiar so much with Fi. Are you sure it's not PHI? It could just be FI. But, dude, that's super cool. I highly encourage it. The very first game stuff I ever did was with level making tools for some old retro games. Like I made Doom levels and Quake levels with level editors that came out for those. And like all kinds of games do. A bunch of dumb stuff that aren't popular games that nobody knows about. But that, I mean, like that's obviously part of what inspired me to want to like learn to make games and stuff. And then actually just the writing code and doing like the math stuff and like, you know, like really figuring out the puzzles of it. Like actually the challenge of figuring out how to accomplish something with the tools at hand, that part excites me so much that like the end and the beginning like literally don't matter. Just the figuring it out is what I'm after. So I just don't care what I'm working on. If I'm writing code and I'm figuring stuff out and making solutions, it's just like, it's so fun. And I like debugging and finding bugs like way more than new development, although I do enjoy new development. I just like the challenge of really obscure bugs. Like it's my specialty. If anybody comes here, like I'm applying for a job and anybody comes here, I'm interested, call me. Get like email me. I see it seriously. Anyway, so my level needs to teleport a player. Place player is the one. And I should be able to steal this out of the level somehow here. So there's going to be the zone has a spawn location. That's what I'll do. So this is in gameplay controller. All the way back up here in this else if we're going to place the player. That's not even the right. Is it manager? Level manager with the account lowercase l. Place player. Does that work? Where'd that come from? Oh, it's actually in level generator. It's going to be just level.place player. It's not even public, is it? No, it's public. Oh, maybe it's because I need to. Oh, level doesn't exist in the current context. Level manager exists? Oh, there we go. And level manager dot current zone. Isn't that a thing? Oh, dot level dot current zone. Dot spawn. Isn't there a spawn location? Maybe it's just level dot spawn. Hey. Dot. Is it transform? No. Is this a vector? Oh, you pass it a zone actually. So pass it the current zone. You have to figure it out on its own, I suppose. And then we have to set the game mode. So set game mode to game mode dot normal. I'm gonna pray that this works. Or maybe I should just trust myself on this. So did we determine? Yeah, there's no callback then, because I'm doing it this jank way. Okay. It's time to put my money where my mouth is, actually. You can't stand coding things. I can't blame you, man. It's like something you either you like or you don't like it. Okay, well, it seems almost like the game mode changed correctly, at least. It didn't place me, but I can work with that. This is really killing my computer right now. Okay, we'll put them at 0, 0. I just need to get him into the level and then it will work. Oh look, there's a bunch of deer that spawned out there. That's actually funny. Only the player suffocates when he's out in space. There we go. No, the game mode did not set to normal. So the level never finished generating, quote unquote. It never... It does set itself back to false. Oh, let's find out. Let's see what's going on here. I prefer building objects and stuff. Yeah, a lot of actually modern development happens that way, believe it or not. There are like a million different platforms, frameworks to like make things happen. In like, it's hard to describe it. It's like a lot of different layers of IT have features and tools like this. And there are a lot of people who program things to happen, quote unquote, but it's not like coding programming. It's rather going through checkboxes and having like a list of all of the different routines. Then you go and click on it and you like set some options, put some file paths in there, you know, that sort of thing. And then like the equivalent in gaming is like you like select if it's going to be, you know, solid or not solid and so on and so forth. So you know, like game engines, like I'm building this in a game engine, so there's quite a bit to it that's, you know, I'm like utilizing all of the collision and all sorts of things for the Unity platform. I just have to code the game logic into it or how that engine is utilized in a gaming fashion, like building the systems of data architectures and all that sort of thing. So it's kind of interesting because a lot of, or like earlier in my career and stuff, I spent a lot of time building engines, and then Microsoft XNA came out, and I was like, oh my gosh! So I developed an engine with that, like worked really far, and then I kind of gave up on that. And then a couple years later, I got into Unity, and I've been working on this ever since. But I just saw that the Stardew Valley guy has a very similar story, and he finished his game in XNA, and that's Stardew Valley. And it kind of blew my mind. I just heard this like a couple weeks ago, and it like brought a big smile to my face hearing this story about this guy. I'm really happy for him, and it just kind of was like cool to like relate with that, because I 100% started. I did a whole bunch of stuff with XNA. And that original like sample project with the gems, with the 2D platformer with the gems, I love that. It's very nostalgic to see the artwork for that. Anyway, real cool. You hate Roblox coding because they keep updating Lua and it messes up the games. Yeah, see, that's part of the problem with Lua is like the syntax for your Lua is slightly dependent on the like, you know, interpreter engine, and there's like a wide variety of them out there, and a lot of them have licensing. So, you know, some games will have it and they'll want to switch the engine because they get caught on the licensing, and so they're looking for something that's inexpensive or free or whatever. And so you do get hit with that. And, you know, that's like, it's a downside, but also the ability to do like runtime interpretation of code is pretty cool. So like allowing Lua code injection into your game to like, you know, facilitate modding is really cool. And so I can't really, it's challenging. It's actually a pretty challenging thing. So I can't really poop on it that much. What am I doing here? I wanted to test where I'm at with my game mode. Like, what is actually happening in the code right now? It's not going there. Oh my god, I'm so oh, I'm so dumb. Look at this. This is supposed to be and equals true. Oh my god. That's like I forgot the 1. I put the decimal place in the wrong spot. I love it every time. Every single time. Listen, at some point, like, if I keep doing this on stream, you're going to see really embarrassing things in my code, and I hope nobody holds that against me. You know, I just do it for fun. And some of the stuff in there is jokes for me. Nothing super offensive, but there's some odd stuff in there. They changed one thing in the Roblox code back in the day and messed up thousands of games. Yeah, Roblox has a big community, man, and that's an unfortunate thing that comes with modding, is when that's what's like, there is a mod apocalypse coming with Project Zomboid. Very few mods are gonna work right out of the gate, but they're implementing like a new standard, or like a new framework for the standard of how mods are implemented, and then it will allow more reverse compatibility going forward. And smartly, the group, I was just reading this in their update from a couple weeks ago, smartly they are taking some hints from, you know, big projects that are like how a big company is doing it, you know, essentially like a place where it's been successfully implemented and people like it, and they're literally just taking it from their playbook, which is smart. You know, like sometimes a thing gets figured out and you just have to trust, you know, you have to trust the experience of what you're seeing there, you know. Looks like, did I save it? Oh, I didn't save it. I was gonna say, it looks like it didn't work, but I didn't save it, so that's on me. Yeah, it's actually pretty cool, but dude, I'm telling you, man, it is a actual pipe dream that this thing is gonna be done and released even on Christmas. I like, when I read that update, dude, from the sound of that update, we're like talking another year, maybe Christmas next year for Build 42. I swear to God, dude, like, yeah, they're suffering from they're suffering from a lack of experience, I believe, in like long-term outlook. It's something that it's really easy. I mean, it's such a small company. It's really easy to get in there. You're ambitious, but you also have like really long crunch periods, get like a brain drain, and you get stuck doing this 80-20 20-80 thing where 20% of the work takes 80% of the time, and you like get down to the last 5% and it's like taking 100% of your, like 99% of your project time. So you have to like learn where to cut corners. And only, yeah, on Christmas, I'm gonna say that if it releases this year at all, it's definitely Christmas. It's not coming before then. I mean, they don't even have any comprehensive looks for us to have. They'd have these alpha builds that are pieces that are assembled together, and they're talking about trying to get everything to work together, and then doing a alpha release that's single player only, and all sorts of things. So until we actually have a mostly functional alpha single player in hand to play around with, an unstable build, then it's unlikely that they're anywhere close to any kind of release. And so I'm imagining that's going to come around 2 to 3 months before their actual release date. I mean, it's not going to be too far behind the release date. because they're not going to want to show it off to the public when it's too unstable. I believe. I mean, I have no idea. Okay, so just take what I'm saying with a grain of salt. I'm not like the smartest about this stuff or anything. It's just my opinion. Maybe I need to turn this music down just a tiny bit. I'm sorry about that. I already have it at like 1%. See if I can put it. It was on 2%. See if I can get it to 1. No, it was at 1. It was already at 1. Well, hopefully it's okay. Hopefully it's okay. I'm gonna bring my chat back up here. People are going to flock to the game if it's released on Christmas. Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, Christmas is a great time to release games. That's why so many games come out on Christmas. So, I mean, when I got into the game, it was winter sale that got me into the game. So, wait, did I move myself here? Oh, I'm moving around and I can play the game. Oh, sweet. Okay, game's working again. I'm not actually sure. Okay, there, it moved. I was just going to say, I'm not actually sure if it was general. Oh, it did. Okay. Thank God. It's me. Thank God that it's not making a liar out of me. I was pretty sure that I could get it to work without too much work there. I was a little distracted. It's hard to write code and talk at the same time for me. But I do know the code pretty well. So this is what it generates right now. And this is what I'm trying to do, is I'm trying to get that prefab first level and some kind of garbage that it generates like this to stitch together on like initial creation of the world. And I have a couple different level generating algorithms. Yeah, I don't know if I'm the master, but people are gonna act like they are unwrapping EZ's new update. Slender Man. Dude, you ever play the Slender Man game? Like the original, like I guess I'm old. Because it was like a long time ago that came out, but one of the scariest experiences, I want to say this was like 2012, 2013, 2012, something like that. One of the scariest experiences for me in my entire life was playing the first Slender Man game. That game creeped me out. I'd never experienced anything like it. It creeped me out so much that I couldn't sleep. I slept with my light on that night. I played it right before bed on recommendation of a friend. It was super obscure at the time. And then I got really into Marble Hornets, the YouTube series. I really got into that. I like binge watched it and like I was following it for a long time. I was really into the Troy Has a Camera people, like in the content they made. I was real sad when they broke up, but anyway, I'm a nerd. But look, we can actually see the level like doing its thing. Here, it's hard to look through this screen because there's so many game objects that Unity really tanks when I'm looking at it this way. All the different like, you know, tiles and sliding scales. But you can see like the monsters. There's two different factions of monsters. There's robots and animals. And they fight each other. Like they just actually kind of randomly go around it, and when they see an enemy, they walk towards the enemy and attack it. It's a really simple AI script. And then whenever they're idle, they'll like pick a spot and walk to it, and the animations on are not really tied to their movement and stuff. It's like I'm just sensing if the object is moving at all. So don't really pay attention to the animations too much. It's just like the robots don't even have animated GIFs. They're just the static image. I don't know how well this actually comes through on the stream, but oh yes, yeah, the master from Fallout. Yes, that's the truth. Hold on, I'm closing the game here. So that is my loading screen. Hold on, let me see if I can get it to go again. So when I was making the game, I just needed like something to slap in there. I would grab memes and stuff, and I've had like over the time I've had a few different memes in here, but that is one of the things that stayed in. So I'm a humongous Fallout fan. It was one of my I got Fallout 1 and 2 like a long time ago, and I played them on like a Pentium 2 computer, and it was one of the few games that was like a very high quality game that would actually run on that computer, and that was like my computer. And like even Baldur's Gate barely ran on it, the original Baldur's Gate. So anyway, playing oh yeah, my place player code worked and everything. Excellent. So when this particular like functionality was getting programmed into the game, I was like, oh, I need a screen to put up there for like the NPC, and I was like, oh, wouldn't it be funny if it was the master? And like that was this was gonna be my original like NPC, and you had to talk to it. And in the game, like the idea is that you're spawning clones in, like you have to collect biological matter. There's like space animals, and you have to collect their biological matter and have it recycled to like afford making new characters. So once you run out of materials, your run is fully ended and it's game over, and then you see the stats of your run. Like that's the gameplay loop for this game. And so that's what made me think of this, because it's like when you play Fallout 1, you're going through that, it's like all this like biological goop and stuff, like Alien kind of, and it's all like fused into the computer. And the kind of like the original ideas I had for the world of this game is like an AI actually is what like spawns you in the first place, and you the player, like of course, you know, you're the ultimate master of the game, you're the one picking the options and stuff, but it's supposed to be like it's the AI sending you out to do this stuff, and like each death is the end of the, you know, it's like a new NPC each time. And so I'm not, because actually nothing is firm in stone, and I'm not going to say that I've like sat down and wrote any of this down, but I've kind of like had these basic concepts in mind like over the course of the years making this game. I've like elevator pitched it to my friends a million times. They've asked me about it a million times. And that's part of why I went on to finish it, man. I've just told too many people I was working on this, and then like for like 8 years, and then it's like I'm gonna be the guy that's always had a million things that I said I wanted to do and I never did any of them. I don't want to be that guy. I'm gonna actually finish this, successful or not, you know. I'm gonna actually put it in the Steam store for like $1, and then I can tell my friends, hey, buy my game. Buy my freaking game, man. I made a game. You have to buy it now. So I'm looking forward to that. You killed the master in Fallout, but you went into the blast zone, and now your guy is stupid and blind. Oh yeah, there's a chat option that makes him like self-destruct. I think he kills himself because you take his logic about converting humans or something, and then you point out some flaw in his whole thing, and he just like goes to the next level and self-destructs. But I usually play like high speech in those games because I feel like it's broken, and it's like really easy to get up high levels by just completing a bunch of quests. So typically I'll take, what is it called, tagging a skill in those games. I would tag the speech skill almost always, and having it as the tag skill I believe is part of the requirement to get the chat option. I could be wrong on that. Might just actually have to do with percentage, but man, I played the shitload out of it. I actually just played through Fallout 2 Remastered like 6 months ago or something. I think we were probably talking about it. It was before I got into Zomboid, I want to say, right before. So coming up on about a year ago at this point, I suppose. I also called who a bigot? I called the master a bigot. He's kind of a bigot, isn't he? Okay, so I've done actually nothing. I'm just like gonna sit here. You know what I'm really good at is just sitting around talking. I can talk for hours on end. As long as I have someone to talk with or something to talk about, I can just go on and on. What I'm not good at doing is getting work done while I'm talking, which is where I should just keep my mouth shut when I'm working. I just gotta keep my mouth shut. I think I got a bot hitting me up. Yeah, when they send you private messages instead of coming into chat to talk to you in chat, then you know it's like a bot. Sliding into my DMs like that. All right, yeah, let's get some work done. So I actually, I have demonstrated now that the game, wait, actually, I didn't really actually do anything, but I'll show you that you can still kind of attack and stuff. Even like you can't, I mean, I could be wrong about this. You might actually be able to equip the weapons and use their powers still. But I'm not even sure if the inventory works anymore. I haven't even played with it since this whole time. It's been like the bottom of my list of things I want to work on. Oh yeah, you can attack the mission computer. I think it can't be killed, but blood comes out of it, which is actually hilarious. It has actually like floating collision, so you can make it twist in space here. It doesn't move though, it won't budge. It's fixed to that point. These are just some artifacts of like the original test build stuff that I've never really fixed. Like there's actually even, and you can see it like before I start the game because the screen's focused on it, but this is the original starting base. And this is a StarCraft 2 spawning pool from the Heart of the Swarm campaign. This was like the spawning pool mission, which is a really cool mission where you go to the first spawning pool on this one planet and like you have to get this NPC. It's really cool. So I was like, wouldn't it be funny if the spawning pool in the game was just like, you know, a spawning pool from StarCraft. So this is the original mission computer up here, a little computer on a desk. But yeah, this artifact's still here. And funny enough, these NPCs here, I have a whole scene set up where they like move over and they actually like talk to each other and they spawn you. Like one of my first ideas too was like a real early, when I'm building all the tools for this, was to like make the robots be the ones that spawn you. And they spawn you because there's just like some things that a human has to do that a robot and like some weird space alien thing can't really do. I don't know. I didn't have a good explanation, but I just, anyway, I just found out when I was working on this, like last night or 2 nights ago, that intro scene plays and has been playing at the beginning of every level for this entire time. It's just off screen. It's been playing and they have like little text bubbles above their heads every single time I've ever played the game over all these years. Every single time I just saw the line of code in there and realized it. And it really made me laugh to see that as a little joke for myself, I suppose. But yeah, so I want to get that level generator that I have to generate levels again. And part of the issue is that like when you generate something in a fixed world, you know, then you have like fixed 0, fixed like 100, and then like I built an object and I tied my code to like this, right? Bro. And so like I have to change the math on how tiles are picked, and then also to determine what tiles are where. I have to update that because I'm tearing out. I want to make the determination before they spawn the tile, and it used to be like I put the tiles in as I'm generating everything. Hard to explain, but yeah, those two things tearing out of me, like I had to overhaul some pieces. And all that's happening right now is a first room is being created, and then the code can't figure out how to put any rooms onto it. This particular algorithm works by, I generate a whole bunch of different shapes and sizes of rooms. Will sex scenes appear in the game? Yeah, actually the game is one big sex scene. Yeah. No. Probably not. Sorry, not that kind of game. Hey, appreciate you, bro. So, yeah, the way this level generator works is it generates like hundreds and hundreds of rooms with different shapes and sizes and like hallways or no hallways. And then it picks a few spots on the edges to put a doorway. And then the script will look at all possible rooms and it will see if I can connect them door to door. And if they connect door to door, then I'll place it into the map. And some of the rooms, since they're not like shaped and sized, it'll actually like allow in certain cases for it to paint a room over top of a room. And so you'll get some kind of weird sections where some of the walls are missing here, like this right here. And sort of the way I got this to work is I only draw the floors and the walls are a void space in my script, and I figure out where to place walls at the end, like where there's like, I just have some rules and I just look everywhere and I fill it in. And like these silver ones here are like a wall texture. It's like an OG wall texture. Like I don't have a wall graphic that can connect, like that's valid to connect these tiles. So that's the OG, like I don't have a texture from one of my original wall designs. All these textures are going to get replaced probably, like maybe not the floor tiles as much, but definitely the wall tiles will get updated. It's kind of interesting actually that it worked though. I just made the stuff with paint that night. It took me a few hours. But yeah, so yeah, none of this is working anymore. I like, now that I want to make the whole game infinite world, I have to like completely go back to the drawing board on how I'm generating anything, like everything. And so that's been the journey for the last several weeks. I built a wave function collapse model and I got it working, and you know, like it's built into this engine, so it like uses this stuff. And then I realized like it's not going to cut it as the end all be all. I don't know, you know, like you probably don't know what that stuff is, but it's like there's all these different algorithms. Like there's some Perlin noise scripts out there and everything for, you know, generating interesting random levels infinitely. And so I'm gonna need to like make, you know, it's gonna be like a recipe. I'm gonna need like a dash of Perlin noise. I'm gonna need like 2 tablespoons of wave function collapse. Yeah, I'm probably gonna need to like at least get 8 ounces to 12 ounces of some kind of like auto generation like this. And then I'm gonna like, you know, sauce it up with some prefabs, you know, get all that stuff working together. And then like, so I have built a new like level manager that has it broken out into chunks and sectors. And like my original game code works off of a thing called a zone, which is like a sector. So I'm like, I've been slowly massaging it in the direction of said thing. And finally, over the last couple nights, I took the jump and I'm like commenting out everything. I'm actually gonna make it. I'm actually pulling the trigger on it. So up until this point, I've been trying to keep it kind of working so I could show people like, hey, actually it works for real. It really works. It's not really fun or playable yet. It's just too broken. I didn't even show it yet, but I don't even think that the inventory works at all in this game anymore. I can't even remember. But it did work once. It will work again. I'm only just focused on the level stuff right now, because once the levels are interesting, the whole rest of the game is going to be just, it's all like little things, little easy things that I've already mostly programmed, and I just need to repair and refine. And so actually, let me just check one more time if the inventory actually works or not. Yeah, part of the issue with the inventory was that I had a completely different set of code that I hand wrote for all of the user input, and it just got too outrageous, and like it didn't work nicely with the built-in like computer like text boxes and drop down lists and all that stuff. Like I was having to write code to calculate mouse clicks and stuff on the drop down to make the freaking drop down show, and it got outrageous. And that's actually what made me stop working on it like a couple of years back. And so one of the very first things I did was tear that back out and re-implement the default like controller stuff and research how pro games are doing customizable controls, which is the whole reason I did it in the first place, is for customizable controls. And so, yeah. Right, let's see if okay. So it comes up, and it looks like I can kind of click on stuff, but can I actually grab something? I don't remember. Is it? I thought if I hit G, it would pick stuff up. No. What is it? E? F? C? Let me see here. Yeah, I don't remember what button it is to actually interact with this stuff. It must not work anymore. Not spacebar. So yeah, a different inventory menu would show up that has like two sides, or you can see what's in the container. And these like face down looking body things are actually corpses with inventories inside of them. And then there's like a treasure pile, and that's supposed to be like when any particular tile has a couple pieces of treasure in it, then it converts to a multiple pieces of treasure on this tile. But I do think that the game will migrate towards not actually being tile based, because I mean, obviously, look, I'm walking around, there's no tiles for me. At least in my selection thing, it actually like hovers over tiles. And what's really funny is I can shoot myself. Like standing here, like my collision goes over my selection area and I can shoot myself. And so I've been thinking a lot about it. I might completely I want to keep it real time. It was originally a turn-based game with a whole combat system with action points and everything. Like I went real far with this. I had like pain indicators, all sorts of stuff. And like there's a huge section of my code, like large portions of the code that I've been tearing out over the last, like I removed that before I quit working on it years ago. I want to say it's probably like 3 years or 4 years ago that I was last really into it, like working on it daily. So these guys will follow me around, and then eventually when I run too far, and they can't really actually get to me, they'll just kind of like chill out. Like actually that guy might see me. He's coming for me actually. But yeah, if I get far enough away, then he'll lose interest. I don't remember how far away from himself he actually looks. But yeah, when I came back to working on this, the pathfinding didn't work, and I was like, who is that picture at with the car? That is Elon Musk standing next to a Tesla, and that's like a picture from freaking almost 10 years ago, actually, because that's like this pretty early on graphic in the game. So when you touch that, it's the end of the level, and it sends you back to the base. It cleans up this level, destroys it, and reloads the... Like this whole level, when it gets created, gets saved to disk, and the first level gets reloaded each time. So if you like kill the monsters there, they stay dead. And you know, I implemented all that stuff real early on because I just wanted to make sure I had an idea in mind on how I was going to accomplish it before I got too far along designing like actually the functionality of how a level is. So I built up like kind of implement like a poor man's version first to just make sure that the concept is there. But yeah, it's actually Elon Musk. I don't think I can really, yeah, pixelated Elon Musk there. Yeah, actually, Elon Musk supports my game. He's an early investor in my game. It's just really smart businessman, you know. He invests in good stuff early. So appreciate you, Elon. Good looking out, buddy. He's probably gonna play my game when it comes out. You know, make sure you what do you call that? Tag him on the tweets when they come out, when the game comes out. But yeah, this section here, I don't think it's working actually at this moment. I have commented out oh no, it is still working. So this section here generates with grass and a whole bunch of deer. And another thing I spent is this is part of the breaking of the game. I have too many ideas at the same time, and I went down the path, like the warpath of implementing some of my ideas a little too hard. And I got myself down a rabbit hole that was so deep, and I was so exhausted, and there was literally no vision of anywhere close to an endpoint, or like, and then also I wasn't making a penny off of it. And so the idea, like, it's like a gamble, and I feel like the odds of actually having a successful game at the end are pretty low, like super low. So I'm not like operating with the mindset that I'm going to make a crap load of money at the end. I'm just doing it for fun. And maybe that's misguided in that it keeps me from having the pressure to like crunch mode to get something done, but also like that is literally what dashed my ambition on the whole endeavor. Like, but mind you, I spent years, like literally years, working on this thing very, very regularly, and I just had no direction. Like, I'm not experienced enough in this sort of project to understand what I was getting into and where I needed to cut corners. So I wrote like all the AI algorithms and whole systems into the game to process AI, and like I said, I built a turn-based combat mechanic with like, and I think some of the features of it still sort of exist. Like, you can actually drop out into like a cursor mode where I can just like move around on the map, and I have it disabled right now. But a big reason why the game kind of is a little choppy is because I have fog of war mechanics and vision mechanics, and I think I just have them literally, like, I don't think I commented out the creation of it. I think it is just view disabled. So let me see if my FX tiles are still, maybe I did comment it out. Yeah, the whole FX controller is commented out. That's weird. I must have implemented it in a different way at the end. But yeah, I do kind of remember that it was working when I started this up a few weeks back, or a couple months back. I don't even remember how long ago it is. It's probably been a year now that I first like dusted it off, but I had some like, man, it's a heavy project to get back into. And I've forgotten more than I wanted to admit to myself at first. I thought it was going to be like riding a bike, and it's like more like having to get recertified for flying an airplane. It's a very complicated beast. But I'm getting back to it. I'm knocking the dust loose, and I'm remembering enough to keep me going. So I wanted to see, actually, real quick here, before I actually do any real work, which maybe I will, maybe I won't get any real work done. But let me see if the FX tiles still work. Yeah, they're turned on, so I must have. It's not hidden, so I'm guessing that I commented out the code that generates them to save performance. But I probably need to look into that. I need to dig a little deeper down. It'll probably have to be one of my next things. So it's tied deep with the pathfinding, because I need, like, there's this really weird algorithm to calculate view distance. But it's like Zomboid, where you face a direction and you see what is that direction, like, and the code for like hitting a corner and then like cutting it at the next angle, it was actually really challenging. It took me like a couple weeks. I was working on it every day for like 10 hours. I was grinding. And it took me a few weeks to figure out. I had like notepads where I was drawing grids and like just going through it one step at a time, like thinking about it like a math formula. And it took me it's like going to college or taking a college course. It's like once I came out of it, I had a greater understanding, almost a new technique or pattern to use in my development. And you almost like accomplish goals subconsciously in that manner. Like, I know how to do, like, so I have like a clever attack pattern for how to solve something. Yeah, like the PZ cone vision. That's like a really common classic rogue type of thing. So in some roguelike games, like especially classic roguelikes, you have 360 vision. You can see in all directions, but there are also some that consider you're facing. And so it just depends on what game you're playing. But, and then, yeah, like even just turning around costs you like in-game time. And so I had like, everything was turn-based originally in this game. Like one of my early ideas, and there's still an artifact of it. You can see at the bottom right corner, there's a number that's going up. And so one of my early ideas was when you're not in combat was going to be turn-based combat. But when you're not in combat, you're moving 100% free form, and everything in the game moves like it's in a classic roguelike, like tile by tile. And the distance that you move, like if you move real slow, just a little bit, might not account for a full turn. And so like when you get magic items and stuff and you have like a higher speed, then you can move more tiles before like a game turn is processed. And you could like move in a certain way, like to get over and just be able to reach a switch, but it's only like a millimeter. And so then I was going to put in like, that I was trying to leverage that sort of, abusing the game system type of thing. But, got sent an email in a mail of a college program that lets you drop out of high school as a junior and immediately go to college. Wow, dude. Wow. That's really smart of the college. So they want you to drop out of school early so you'll be a little bit dumber, and so they can scam you out of all your money with financial aid. I love it. That's a great... No, I 100% don't believe that you should do that. I think you should get your college diploma or your high school diploma, dude. Personally, I think there are people out there that, well, I will say actually that your senior year of education in high school versus like getting college education is going to be better. But I would only do that if you could get a real diploma so you could say on your resume, because you'd have no idea if you're going to complete that college. See, typically people feel compelled to complete high school to get the diploma, but they do not feel compelled to complete college. And you'll see that college dropout rates are actually pretty high. Like a large portion of people who set out to do college do not complete it. And some people come back to complete it later, but most do not. Most people who go in once and drop out never go back. And the same is actually true with high school. Most people who drop out of high school never really get a GED. And there are some people who are in high school who go and test for a GED so they can get out of high school faster. You don't mean drop out, you graduate early. Oh, okay, so I have a niece that was in like this special program where she would go to school for like a couple periods, and then she would get a ride a bus up to like a college school, and then she'd do the rest of her day at this college school, and then she would just be there for like whole days at that school. And it's some kind of like, like what do they call it, AP, the advanced kids. It's like an advanced like college course. You get college credits at a local college and stuff. And so she was like doing pretty good in school. If it's something like that, then hell yeah. I mean, I think Votech, like a vocational school, is really, man, it's so tough right now. The outlook for careers down the road, like the career market is about to be revolutionized. We're about to go through another industrial revolution. It's going to the landscape of what work will be available in America is about to transform. So it's hard to plan for the future when the future appears so random, I mean, I don't think that being a like YouTube influencer or a streamer or something is like a viable career goal to like seek out further education for. That's like almost a lot of people try and most people don't make it type of thing. So school doesn't work for like gambling. There's like no school for gambling because it's just luck. So, like, but what vocations are available? Like, what we're looking at, the sciences being crunched by AI, and that's going to put a lot of people back into the labor market, and the labor market's being squeezed by automation. So, who knows what we're looking at? You're not in the academic program in your school? BIM certificate? I don't know what BIM is. Yeah, I scored like super high on my statistical, like whatever the, what do you call it? Okay, I lived in Pennsylvania and I took a Pennsylvania state assessment. And I think it was called PSSA or something like that. We called them PSSA tests. But I believe it was like actually just for my state, and this is not national. But when I scored like outrageously high for everything except for English, which was like, I was in like the 80 percentile for English, but I was like 97th percentile for mathematics. And my dad like made a really big deal about it, and I did not get it. It didn't seem impressive to me, actually, like, because I'm like not studying or anything. It was just like, it really didn't click for me. But my dad was really impressed. He told a lot of people about it. He went on and on about it, but like, if it wasn't for him making a big deal about it, I wouldn't even remember it, to be honest with you. I'm not really like the kind of person that focus on a thing like that. BIM is a computer class that teaches you how to use Microsoft Word and stuff. Oh my god, dude. That sounds, oh my god, dude. I saw this hilarious like meme sketch video that totally summed up how I feel about the business world. But it was like, this guy has this resume and it's got all this like really complicated things on it. And the boss is like looking at the resume and he goes, "Oh, dude, you know how to use Microsoft Word?" And the guy's like, yeah, I do." And he was like, "Oh, crap, can you show me that right now?" And he pulls a laptop out and he gets Microsoft Word up. And he's like, "Can you show me that right now?" And the guy like, he's like, "Oh yeah." He's like, "Well, how would you, like, if you wanted to put a title right there, what would you do?" And the guy's like, and he's like, "Oh my god." And he's like, "What about Microsoft Excel?" And he's like, he opens up Excel and he's like, "Oh yeah." It's like, "Well, can you do a formula?" And he's like, "Yeah, you type equals." And then he's like, "Oh my god, have you ever seen this before?" He's like, "Dude, I'll get," and then he's like, "Do you want a job?" And the guy's like, "Seriously?" And then the dude is like, it's like in his head, and he's like, "Oh my god, this guy's too good for this job. I better offer him more." He's like, "I'll give you 20,000 signing bonus if you take it." It was like, and that's the end of the video. It was really, really funny to me because that's what it's like. That's what it's like, dude. Like, the really simplest things on computers, those are the buzzwords the managers know, because they're the tools that they use to do their job. And like a lot of like work is communication and providing data. And so there are some core tools that of course you'll want to understand, and they're not hard tools to use. There's really not too much to master in them, but it'll be like being able to edit PDFs, being able to like look at and edit Excel files, understanding like how to deal with statistics in, like, if you have a graph, to do a percentage or sum or something, like getting what that means, and communicating through email, Slack, which is basically Discord. Slack is like the business version of Discord. And what did I say? Email, Outlook, and Word, of course, Word, because you're going to be writing up proposals and stuff, so you want to make like printable documents. And so those are the big like 4 things. So what's the ironic part? If you tell me that they're hard for you to use and that's the ironic part, I'm gonna laugh. I'm about to beat my cat up. I'll be right back. I can still I can't read. I can still hear, but I guess you're not on voice chat, huh? Piece of shit. You forgot everything. Dude, I can't blame you. I can't blame you on that, man. Like, That's how it goes sometimes, man. You know, like if you don't do it day in and day out, like you can't be expected to retain it. So when you like go to school, you're primed with all this information and you're asked to recall it on a test, which helps you, like, you know, it pushes you to sit there and try to memorize it, quote unquote, and then, you know, you get it out. But once you've got it out and you know, oh, I have no final coming up or anything like that, it's gone. There's no reason for you to retain it. And there's too much that happens to you day in and day out for your brain to like really hold on to things that you're not doing all the time. So the thing about schooling is it really like preps you in a lot of ways, but it doesn't actually teach you in a lot of ways. It teaches you some things, but it's really more prep than it is real teaching. Like you're not going to actually be a master of anything until you get to a career and you do it every single day. And repetition is the great teacher. You're going to do it every single day, and then you're going to either care enough to learn to refine it, or you're going to not care and you're going to figure out how to grind your days out, and you're going to refine your laziness tactics. Which, so like you're either going to be a person who dedicates themselves to getting better and faster and stronger and being the best, or you're going to figure out how to be the best at and not getting anything done. And that's how it is. There's really just two types of people that work. You have one or the other. And so, you know, I guess there's a little bit of a sliding scale in between there, but it's mostly, in my experience, like 20% of the people are one and they pick up the slack of the other 80%. So, you know, like figuring out how to get through life is a tough thing. But anyway, like I'm saying, like you really aren't going to learn and retain and hold on to anything until you're doing it regularly. So if you're not like using Microsoft Word, which I'm assuming you're not, like ever having to use Microsoft Word for anything, you know, like if you're going to write your friend a text, it's not going to be in Microsoft Word. I can promise you that. You only have to use it if your school requires you to for a project. And once you get into the real world, like, man, I work in IT. And, well, you know, okay, hold on, shoot, I got to take it back. I use Word a lot at work now. I forgot. My previous job, I never was in it. I wrote a lot of my proposals in, like, different software that was easier to do, like, stuff in. So, and we ended up making PDFs and stuff for our design documents, so. I suck at Spanish. The teachers talk in Spanish, and I can't understand anything. It was like alien babble. Do you live in Spain or something? Or are you taking a Spanish class and you're just not up to par on your conversational Spanish? Listen, I intended to get on tonight and write some code and like play around, but instead I just played around and showed off a little bit, which I guess is good enough, but I don't think I'm going to get anything done at this point. I got to go to bed soon, actually. It's almost 10 o'clock, so I was actually didn't think anybody was going to show up. I appreciate you, Inkling. It's good chatting with you, my friend. What have you been playing? What games have you been playing lately? I know you said you just got that one for DS. I'm about to wind the stream down and pop off here in a few minutes, bro. You don't understand Spanish. Yeah, I don't understand Spanish either, dude. Actually, I mean, like, I know a few words, but for the most part, I'm not really. Roblox. A lot of. Oh, okay. You got a lot of friends in Roblox that speak Spanish. That's pretty funny. Just Roblox. Is Roblox a Spanish game? You know what? I really did want to actually peek at this code just a tiny bit too before I head out of here. Because I mean, if I shut the stream off right now, I'd still be looking at it because it's a puzzle I wanted to get my eyes on it and kind of think through it a little bit tonight. Have something to sleep on tonight. Yeah. You know, man, like, I never got into Roblox. It's not really ever a thing for me, and I definitely wouldn't now. I mean, I can't, it's really tough for me, man. I just can't go play a game that's mostly children. I mean, I feel really creepy. I'm freaking almost 40 years old, dude. And last time I got on Minecraft, literally everyone on the server was like 11 to 13 to 16. And there was like one 24-year-old person in there. And I just felt like, I don't know. It just didn't feel right to me. So, yeah. I mean, like, I'm kind of, yeah. Minecraft's like actually my favorite game ever. It's really hard for me to say that because StarCraft is actually one of my favorite games, and it's a completely different type of game, and that's like traditionally been the one I've always said was my favorite. But man, I put way more time into Minecraft than StarCraft. I mean, that game is like crack to me. Just like collecting items and building stuff in a somewhat, well, it's a lot harder now. It's actually like last time I was playing, it's pretty hard now. But it was like a somewhat casual type of like survival game. This is like a little bit of a challenging survival, but mostly just kind of casual. And you can go like infinitely in the world and see like all kinds of randomly generated cool things with like some pretty nice, you know, pretty nice ambiance, a little bit. Yeah, actually, man, not very many young people playing PZ. I noticed that a lot of the PZ players were mid-20s, actually. They were, but there were a few 16-year-olds, you know. A few like teenagers, for sure, but a lot of adult types, which I kind of like that about PZ. And I suppose that, you know, like, if you're a gamer and you play games a lot as a kid and you play games a lot, period, if you are like somewhat decent, at some point you might actually be like interested in a challenging game. And PZ is by far a challenging game. That's a tough ass game for sure. Yeah, there are a lot of like real, like, I've never really been military enjoyer, quote unquote. I've not been ever really too much been into COD or Modern Warfare. I guess that's the same game, or Battlefield, whatever. I've never been like super into those games, so not really into that kind of stuff. I don't really know that sort of stuff very well. I played my fair share of Counter-Strike, original Counter-Strike, like a madman. And I got Counter-Strike Source when it came out, but it didn't feel the same as original Counter-Strike, the Half-Life mod. And I played the actual F out of that game. And so I look back on that fondly. As well as the time that I spent playing Quake World. I played Team Fortress on Quake World like a ton when I was young. It was like my 15, 14, 16. I got like bots and stuff like AI mods for it, and had my friends come over and we play LAN games against the bots and stuff. It was real fun. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, you know what, man? You always have been like collecting and setting up suits and stuff, and having a whole get up, like themes. Put some riz on your character a little bit. That's not me, man. I'm the GM that runs around naked on the servers because it's just I can't be bothered to spawn clothes in for my character. This is when I know they're just gonna get bitten up and bled on like immediately. I had been hoping that Build 42 would come soon because, you know, a lot of people lost motivation for the game. You know, this is a hilarious thing. They were like, oh, Build 42 is coming, and the mods are going to all be dashed to pieces. And a whole bunch of people have, like, the game has, like, really lost some momentum. and it's been in a state where people are, you know, still, there are some hardcore people out there still playing, but I feel like some of the conversations dying down a little bit. Maybe it's just me, not, maybe it's me losing interest and I'm not looking anymore. But even the, you know, like content and stuff doesn't seem like it's really trending as much out there either. You went there to get the first Resident Evil and you got a DS game. So wait, first Resident Evil like remastered, like modern game that's on a new console, or like original PS1 Resident Evil? I got the remaster on Steam not too long ago, actually. Like probably 1 year ago ish that I purchased it. Yeah, I saw it and I got like mad nostalgia chills, and I was like, man, I really want to play Resident Evil Remastered. And I was playing Resident Evil 1. I mean, I beat them both on the PlayStation. Like lots and lots of saves coming. I just constantly was reloading saves. But I beat them both. And it's hard for me to remember. I think that I read some of the like hints from either like a Game Informer or GameFAQs.com way back in the days where I used to go for stuff. I think I might have read something to get me through it, man, because I don't remember how we figured some of this stuff is actually challenging puzzles. I don't remember how I figured that out when I was that young. But I remember beating it with my buddy, and so he might have known the tricks, you know. It might have been him. But anyway, so Resident Evil 1 is hard as hell. Holy smokes, that game is jank. You get remake, remaster for free. Wait. Resident Evil 1 remake remastered? Like they're remastering a remake. What? Hold on, let me check my Steam library. I don't know. I don't even know what I have. I might have. that might be what I have. That's just crazy to me. Like, are we there yet? Are we remastering our remasters now? Is this a thing? I have Resident Evil HD, I guess. Is this the remake? This is just some remaster. I don't even know what this is. I don't know, actually. It is kind of weird, but you know what? That's fine. I'm really actually happy with the remaster stuff that I've gotten lately. So last year they remastered Quake, and maybe it was 2 years ago. I think it was last year though. They remastered Quake, and they gave it to everybody who owned it on Steam for free. And then they raised the price in the store for it. And the remaster for Quake was so legendary to me, because it wasn't like, it wasn't a remaster. It was like an engine upgrade. So the game is still the same, but the levels load like instantly and seamlessly. And they added a new multiplayer game mode, Dead Rising 1. I never played Dead Rising, so I was really happy. Quake's super nostalgic for me. So and I think they did Quake 2. I want to say they updated Quake 2 also, and that came out. Cheap viewers on, get the hell out of here. There should be an option to just insta-ban people. Like, it should be a button on the first time chat window. I lack the skills to actually ban people. I'm a terrible. I'm actually one of the worst streamers ever. What is this on Twitch? Are we on Twitch right now? I have to get in my Twitch chat. Oh, I need to mod you, bro. That would help. How do you mod people? Mod view. I should play Flash games sometime. Like what Flash game? Man, I don't even have I don't even know how to do Flash games anymore. I thought Flash was like banned from the internet completely. Here we go. I found the mod button. Thank you. You are now a mod. So here we go. How do you delete a message? Like Road of the Dead Flash game. Newgrounds, baby. Oh, you have to use a special browser. I can't believe Newgrounds is still up after all this time. Even with Flash dead, they found a way around it. They made their own browser that has Flash enabled in it. That's so legendary. Big nostalgia rip for Flash. I was actually in the middle of learning ActionScript 3, writing Flex programs to do Flash Mobile, like around the time tablets came out, thinking that that might be the future of tablets. You know, Flash was a pretty foundational platform, and they really didn't think it was going anywhere, and then big rip. Apple said no to Flash, and Flash was gone overnight. Yeah, man, gosh, I want to say I played a Flash game of sorts on stream 10 years ago that was a typing game. It was like called Icarus Something Learns Typing, and it was actually one of the funnest typing games I've ever played. It like developed into this really interesting like end game story with like, I think you went to hell and had to like type perfectly against Satan or something like that. It was like really out there. And then I also played another game that was like, it was something with toads. It had something to do with toads. And at first it's like a game where you're on a toadstool catching flies, and then it transforms into one of the weirdest games that I've ever played, where it just constantly, like, the game, it's like a new game. It's like completely different. Like, you're at some point you're like flying through space and you're riding a dragon, and like it's trippy. That's a game that like it comes at you out of nowhere. It comes at you and totally changes your expectations. And that's one of those games that is nice to play without spoilers. And thankfully I have a really good friend who told me to play the game. He didn't spoil it, and I had an absolute blast playing it, but cannot remember the name. I'll look it up real quick though. It was called like, I think it was a Flash game. It was like Toad Weird Game. I wonder if this is going to show up. Frog Fractions. That's what it was. It was called Frog Fractions. That's a good one. How old is that game now? Frog Fractions. Yeah, I played that on stream out. It's from 2012. It was a browser game, yeah. Yeah, that's a legendary game for me. 12 years ago that came out. Okay. But yeah, I don't want to say too much more. I mean, obviously I've already spoiled it too much, really. That's a fun game. Yeah. Yeah, I think it was free. At least I played it free. It's called Frog Fractions. Type it in chat. Anyway, you know what? I said I was going to get around to putting my eyes on this thing, but it's after 10 now. I'm going to get off stream here soon. I do want to kind of put my eyes on this. Let's switch this code back real quick. Let's actually do the damn thing. Pull a Benny Banks on this one. You gotta send a man in. Bada boom, bada bing. What are we changing the code here? It was like I added that jank boolean to my gameplay processor, gameplay controller. This one needs to go away. Whoops, that was weird. Oh, I did it again. Jump backwards. This whole section, I'll just comment it out. That way I'll know I can turn that back on someday if I wanted to. So this is actually the code now. So it used to be that the level like I created and then it injected you into the level after you created your character. But now I wanted to have the I want to create your character at the same time you create the world. So actually this section is going to turn into probably like a form of some type where you're filling out the like all your settings. It's like Minecraft, right? And your character, or your first character, picking the class and stuff like that. So this, I actually have different class powers and all that stuff already built in. So I don't know if class is actually going to be a thing. I don't know how this is going to work. Really, I'm going to have to figure that out once I get over the hurdle of the level generator. Then I'll get back to that. And so I have this whole mechanic in there for factions. It's like you have to build up your base. Like the starting zone, you collect resources for it, and then you research upgrades. And so you have like something AI bots, robots, something automated in your base that's, you know, providing you the means of upgrading this, but you have to go out and collect the resources. That it lacks the ability to get out there and collect it on its own. That's literally what it's using you for. And so that's like supposed to be the feel of the game. And so I don't know, maybe there'll be something in there about it, like especially if you're always playing a clone and you feel like the AI is driving you to do everything. Maybe it'll become like actually something that you're breaking away from somehow. You know, it's like at first it's like really nice, but then like part of the gameplay mechanic is to defeat the system and break, you know, like the 1984, to throw the sledgehammer at the screen, so to say. So I don't know. I have no idea what I'm really going to do. I'm really looking forward to getting back to on a path where I'm working on that sort of thing. And I've closed my chat on accident here. Soma, what are you saying here? Make it like if there's an occupation from down on Earth. Make it if like there's an occupation from... See, here's the thing. It's like actually the premise of the game is that like this is the actual like... This is the straight up like original and main thing that I want, like as far as universe goes. This is very broad sweeping universe. It's in the middle of the void. There's no star. There's no planet. There's just like not in a solar system, out in the vast emptiness of space. That some kind of thing happened thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, long time ago. The like some kind of life raft of humanity out there like got stuck or was like generational ship, and it like collects resources somehow from like asteroids. It's not really explained, doesn't need to be. But then a large civilization of like just like a fleet that just goes on for eternity, essentially, just like a massive fleet of ships at some point is like all of human civilization just lives amongst these like life rafts, and then that civilization gets completely wiped out 100%, like 1000%, just totally destroyed. There's nothing left, and it's just one ginormous debris field. That's like the most basic premise of the universe, and I kind of want to keep, because that's like literally the explanation for why it's an infinite world of all these different broken ships that you're collecting parts out of, you know, and like all these random like killer robots that are going to be attacking you, that are going to be preventing you from getting the nice resources. Like that's why they're there. They're like the artifacts of the machines of war type of thing. Dude, if the fire of Alexandria hadn't happened, if that archive hadn't been burned, this fucking game would be done. I can promise you that. the code would have been in there, bro. I would have got this done so much faster. I promise you that. I'm just joking. I'm just making a wild joke, but yeah. I don't know about that with the flying cars, man. There's actually like, maybe humanity actually did at some point solve the flying car in like ancient times, and that technology has been hidden from you, and that's what UFOs are, bro. You know, some people believe that UFOs are not extraterrestrials, but they're a breakaway civilization that has super far advanced technology that's godlike, that lives terrestrially, and those UFOs and stuff are like, you know, surveillance drones essentially. And as our, you know, like sticks and stones civilization broke into industrial age across the planet, that they're keeping their eye on us. And their technology is so absurdly advanced to ours that they could crush us and so completely and so quickly that it doesn't matter to them that we can see them, you know? Like this sounds like we are both on meth or something. Yeah, no, this is some crazy deep conspiracy theories. Bro, listen, if there's one thing I know, that's all of the conspiracy theories. I know literally all of them. I have friends that are so crazy that you have not experienced crazy like my friends, man. Like these people are out there, flat earth types, you know what I'm saying? Like love them to death. I have really long theological conversations with these people, and I think it enriches my perspective, you know, because I'm not actually a believer in those sorts of things. I'm not saying I believe this information that I'm telling you. I'm just saying there are a large sect of people out there who believe it, and there's plenty of sources to go and read, you know, much more detailed things with actual factual points put together, like to create a compelling case for such a thing existing. So it's something interesting to look in. I don't think I was interested in any of that sort of stuff at your age. I didn't really kind of get into that until the rest of life started to get boring to me, and so I started to look for things to spice it up. And so a lot of older people get into history because they're experiencing things like in cycles, and after like the second or third time around, it's like you're like, oh, I see there's like a really grand pattern here, and it enriches your view of the past things, and then the past things become more important because they'll further enrich your view of what's going on today. And so, you know, I suppose that young people that get into history are probably smarter people, probably in the long run, or more wise people anyway. I like crazy people. I like really smart people too. And most of the like smartest people I know absolutely are not crazy at all, and they don't like crazy people, and they don't really give them the time of day, you know, because they're like, oh, these people. A lot of really smart people I know don't like not smart people very much. They'll tolerate them, you know, because there's all types in this world. But what I mean to say is, like, they wouldn't give a conspiracy theorist the time of day. If they had a viewpoint that differed from their own, then they're not giving it the time of day. Wait, what? They believe an African scientist made the white race? Interesting. I think that I think that that's got to be like a super tiny portion of actual neo-Nazi types, you know, because I think that yeah, no, actually, dude, I'm gonna disagree with this, bro. So like real like KKK neo-Nazi racists, like the real white supremacists, especially in America, they are very God-fearing people. They believe in God. They believe in the creation of humanity, and it is the foundation of their belief that they were created better, that they were like literally the other people were not created as well as they were. That's the belief, I think. And I mean, I could be wrong on this, but I'm pretty sure. I mean, a lot of people that I've met that were actually really racist people were also very religious people. So I'm not saying like, dude, I know a million religious people that are super cool, not like that people, but you know, it's a really strange thing because some people will make something like that the foundation of their views, and a lot of people have views, and it's not even like race or anything. They just have a viewpoint and they believe it so strongly, and that they hate people who are against their belief system in any sort of fashion. And you know, it could be like they hate fat people because like they think it's disgusting, like those people have no self-control, like why do they eat so much, like couldn't they just be like normal people and not be fat? And they just have no time of day for fat people, like, and it's like it has nothing to do with race, you know. And so it's just a human thing. Like there's, dude, Hyperborea, you fucking brought up, bro. Hyperborea is part of that UFO conspiracy I was just telling you about. I'm just saying, bro. Watch where you're going. Watch where you're going. Yeah. Yeah. All right, bro. Let me drop some knowledge on you here, okay? This is not crazy conspiracy theory. This is history. Right? Look at, I think it's ancient Greek religions, right? You know, with like Jupiter and Apollo and all of the Greek gods, right? Zeus. The gods that came before those Greek gods were, if I'm not mistaken, they were called the Titans or something like that. Those gods, the original ones, the actual creators, when they got defeated by the lesser gods, like their children actually, when they were overthrown, they lost the battle. The agreement was that they would return to Hyperborea in the center of the earth, and they would never interact or influence humanity again. They would leave it to the Olympians, the ones. Yeah, Hyperborea is the center of the earth. It's the inverted world, like inside the planet it's hollow, and that's where another civilization is. That's part of the UFO conspiracy. I'm just saying, bro. You gotta just watch what you're, you know, I always got to tell people, be careful, you know, like when you're taking in new information like that, to, especially when you're learning stuff for the first time, to not get too whipped up, like especially when it's really controversial, like being a neo-Nazi. So it's really, I mean, actually, dude, true white supremacists they can really like wreck your mind, dude. They'll drop some stuff on you and they will indoctrinate you so quick that you just have to be careful to remember, like, one of the most important things in this world is to remember that literally all life is precious. If the science people are like true, if the law of thermodynamics is true, then like in nature, all things always become destroyed. They never assemble into life. They always move towards destruction. Eventually, everything in this universe will be fully obliterated, not the opposite. It won't be that life will be rife through all corners of the universe. It will be the opposite. All will be destroyed. So if that's the case, then all life is literally a miracle and precious. It's like actually unexplainable how life could come to be in a universe that's constantly destroying. And so it's actually it's most important in your life to remember that all life is precious, no matter where it comes from, even if it's an ant or a bug. You know, no people, no humans are lesser than other humans. So yeah, it's probably not bad to hate them, you know, But I mean, I'm sure your feelings would be a lot more mixed if you like had a really good friend that got indoctrinated by him and became a neo-Nazi, but they were like a good friend, a homie from like before everything, and you wanted to remain friends with them somehow. And then you'll get into a complex situation where you want to help this person like break away from... Did I see a message from Carlike? What's up, my buddy? Life comes to because I fuck your mom. Hey, you know how I know I'm your daddy? Because I did this to your mother. But yeah, anyway, so it's a really complicated part of life, you know. It'll happen to you more and more as you get older. You just see how things come and go, man. I can't really explain it, but everything you know goes away, and then new things come around, and then they go away, and then new things come around, and then they go away. And life is just constantly changing. And lucky people get set up with something that lasts for the rest of their lives. Lucky people. Very few. Like, the world is not designed for that right now. It's designed to break stuff and throw it away. That's what they want you to do. Keep going out and buying stuff. Don't have anything that lasts. You're not going to own your shirts anymore. You're going to own nothing, and you're going to love it. So let's get deep down in the conspiracy holes. You know, actually, I should probably hop off stream here before I get too deep. It is sad, man. It is sad here. Carlek, it's good to see you, buddy, but I was actually trying to get out of here about 30 minutes ago. It's 10:30. It's my bedtime. I'm going to stay up for another 30 minutes or so, and then I'll go to bed. Appreciate you dropping by, Carlek. Yeah, it was good seeing you, Inkling, man. It was good chatting with you. I'm glad you stopped in here and kept me chatting the whole time. It made it interesting. You know, not that it really matters. Next time I get in here, I'll show my fully functioning infinite world. Hopefully. I got you, homie. It's good seeing you. All right, guys, I'm out of here. Yeah, I don't have anything really, and I don't have any closing statements. I stand by everything I said. I wouldn't take it anything back. I stand by it all. You can quote me on that, but please don't. But please don't. Appreciate you, Inkling. Yeah, man. I'll try to be on next week again. I actually was like literally not going to get on tonight. And then I was like on Twitch looking at something, and I had a message in there that said, this is great. It said, yo, man, I love your streams lately. They've been real chill. And I was like, oh, appreciate you, man. But then it turned out it was actually just a bot trying to sell me on something. So, so a bot instigated me to get on stream tonight. How about it, man? I got you baited. So I'm glad you stopped by. It made me feel a little less bad about it. So anywho, on that note, I'm out of here. Hope you guys have a great week. Probably won't be back again until next Monday night. And, I don't know. Maybe we'll do like working on this a little bit more. Show off what I get done this week. Right on, bro. Yeah. Yeah. It's how fate works sometimes. It just puts two random people together and get a little chill out session happens. All right. Take it easy, y'all.